Mercato is crazy. Ah, la 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 la. Mercato is crazy. Ah, la 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 la. Mercato is crazy tonight. Mercato is crazy tonight. Mercato is crazy tonight. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Mercato is crazy tonight. La 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 la. Mercato is crazy tonight. La 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 la.
Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. I am excited, I am super excited. I didn't speak about it in my video this morning that I actually posted like 1 hour ago. But today is Giuntoli Day, the first real press conference of Giuntoli Cristiano at Juventus. We already heard a 1 minute 37 video where he expressed his thoughts about his Juventinità, what Juventus represented for him, some words that he already said, but we didn't really heard him speaking live. And I am really curious, because now it will be a bit more than 1 minute 37 with the journalists that will be there to challenge him, what we will do, because you can watch it for free in Italian on Juventus TV, of course, if you want to. If you understand Italian, I recommend you to go there. If you don't, unfortunately, but maybe luckily, I am here for you because I will listen and live translate. It's an exercise that I didn't do since the last press conference, I believe, of the year. It was Udinese Juve, or I'm not even sure I did it for Max Allegri. I think I did the last one at home, Juve Milan press conference with Max Allegri. An exercise that is not always easy, but I love to do for a simple reason, because when you are reading the words a bit later, not always the right exact thing is reported. Not always the things are in context. They are taking a huge bold sentence, and that sentence start to be bigger. You don't see the facial expression. You don't know if that has been said as a joke, if it has been said a bit more seriously, what are the emotions of the person speaking. And that's why I'm here to do it together with you. We will not do a long one, so it will not be a 2 hours long live. The press conference should start in about 2 minutes. Of course, I need to test if it's still working or not. I tell you, it's a long time ago I didn't do it. So I have, again, to put my headphones on. I already prepared, of course, everything. Look at that, Giuntoli that you can see next to me when he was signing his contract. I don't have yet images of him in press conference because it will be the first one. And you can find him here next to me with the sunglasses because we are not playing against an opposition team. But it's Giuntoli Day. Before starting, because he should arrive from a minute to another, please let me know what you're expecting from Giuntoli. What are the questions that you would ask if you were the journalist invited there? I'm really curious. I will try to listen. Yeah, okay, that is working. The headphones are working, which is great. So if you were a journalist, what is the question, the first question that you would ask to Giuntoli? Or maybe you are like Ziad, my friend, that is saying, you know what, you will learn better with Giuntoli as he's speaking slower than Allegri. He's arriving. I see already some people arriving. I think I see Cherubini, Manna, Ferrero, Scannavino. These are the first persons that I am starting to see here arriving in the press conference. First row for them. I already tell you the backstage stories. Giuntoli is not there yet. Now he is there, right on time. Mamma mia. 30 seconds before hitting 2 p.m. which is beautiful, which is absolutely beautiful. Attenzione, we start. We start immediately. We start immediately. Football director, that's the word that has been used. We shoot immediately. One question per journalist. The first words are from Giuntoli. He starts speaking before any question. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being present here together with me. First, I wanted to start saying thank you to De Laurentiis and Chiavello that for 8 years long, they gave me a big, huge opportunity. I want to say thank you to the players, to the management, to supporters of Napoli. That's what I wanted to do. And now I am here at your disposal. So starting also saying thank you to the past. Important. Juventus TV, first question. I'm not asking a recap because it's a bit earlier, but your first impression from these 10 days with Juventus. I am really happy because I received a fantastic, beautiful welcome from everyone that is working in the club. I found a lot of qualities in different sectors, from the mister to the staff to the players. An environment that welcomed me in an incredible way. And I'm here at a huge and big, and they were all at really big disposal. For Ziad, that was saying Giuntoli is speaking slower. No, he's speaking super fast. So that's the first thing that I tell you. Giuntoli is speaking extremely fast. We continue with probably the first question of the journalist. Giovanni Albanese. In the last year, from an external point, you probably had an idea about what Juventus was. What is, according to you, what you can give immediately to Juventus, and what did the company Juventus ask you to do immediately? Giuntoli. As an external, I never took care about the problems about other clubs, other people. So now what's important is what we will do from now on. And what the club asked me is to go back to become competitive. We have to be sustainable. Attenzione, competitive, sustainable. Because the world in that right moment is going towards that direction. So we have to pay attention to the sales. But especially respecting Juventus and being a competitive club in Italy and in the world. What can I give? Well, my story is speaking quite clear, I believe. I did 6 years in one club, 8 in another. What I'm looking for is to do a lot with what I have at disposal. It's what I showed during the years. And bringing my experience, all my experience in this prestigious club. Again, what I was saying to your colleague, I found a fantastic welcome and beautiful disposal from all the people, and also a lot of competency, skills in all the people that I met at Juventus at the moment. Second question, or third question. Calcio news. I have always described you, when you were at Napoli, as a incognito sheriff. Giuntoli is a bit laughing here. Wait, let's continue with the question. The journalist, I described you as an incognito sheriff. We never heard you. And then you went on the market signing huge, big players, important names. My question for you is, will you bet on the players that are here at Juventus at the moment? And what about the youth? Which are the youth that you will invest on? What is the strategy about the youth? Will it continue or not? Giuntoli. I want to precise that I just arrived and the club was already going into a direction in an extraordinary way. They already confirmed Rabiot, which was absolutely not 100% sure. And that's beautiful. They signed Weah, great talent with a lot of potential. They renewed, or they signed definitely Milik. So already, Mercato, they already did it. Now we have a lot of players in a lot of different roles. And the priority is putting some clear messages into the team. Because we have a huge team, a big team with too many players. Then, of course, signing young players is always important, has a lot of benefits. But we have to remember ourselves that we have to find a balance between competitivity and sustainability. Ragazzi, I don't know if you will be happy. Competitivity you can reach it with youth, experience, and competencies. We have to mix all these kind of things. Wait, let me go back to really, again, listen to the words that he just said, because I will listen later. Question from the journalist. Can you give us a situation about Arthur, Bonucci, McKennie, Zakaria, players that are out of the project? Attenzione. Thank you for the question. Giuntoli. McKennie out of project. I don't know if you read that on journals or on papers, but we never said that. McKennie, at the moment, not out of project from Giuntoli. There are some players that are working apart, that are on the market. There are some players that are part of the project. At the moment, we are dealing for Zakaria with some clubs, Arthur with some clubs. About Leonardo Bonucci, for Leonardo Bonucci, we told him, and then he stopped, and then he repeated. He started again from the beginning of the sentence. We are dealing from some clubs for Leonardo Bonucci, but at the moment there are no clubs that he agrees on. He's not interested on the clubs that we are agreeing on. So at the moment we have no solution for Leonardo Bonucci. Attenzione, confirmed, Leonardo Bonucci is on the market by Juventus. Mamma mia, mamma mia. McKennie not out of project at the moment. Speaking about Lukaku. Lukaku, that a lot of papers are talking about a few years ago, would that have been a Giuntoli move or not? Attenzione to Giuntoli. Answer about Lukaku. So we have to differentiate something. There will not be moves alla Giuntoli, moves alla Allegri, moves alla Manna. There will be moves Juventus. Juventus moves. So not 1-1-1, but we together. Attenzione, we continue. As I already told, we have to go back and to do a sustainable mercato, okay? And also competitive. It will be a mix of young talents with experienced player. About the player that you nominated, so Lukaku. We are on the market. We are speaking with a lot of clubs. And we are asking a lot of information. Then, the papers are... Oh, attention! The papers are speaking about everything. We are in contact with a lot of clubs. We are asking information about a lot of clubs. Papers are writing on it. Then, as you can see, at the moment, we are pointing a lot. We are pointing a lot. We are betting a lot on Vlahovic, on Chiesa. Really strong on Keane, Milik. This is the truth. Attenzione! Because he's saying, we are speaking with a lot of clubs. We are asking information about a lot of clubs. But at the moment, we are betting on Vlahovic. We are betting on Chiesa. We are betting on Keane. We are betting on Milik. Saying as well, again, repeating for the fourth time, sustainable mercato. Competitive mercato for a mix or with a mix of youth and experienced players. We continue, strong words. I will forget everything I said, so remember what I'm saying because later we will go point by point. Question. Nerozzi, Corriere della Sera. Question. Were you asked to come here to make a revolution or an evolution of the club? Giuntoli. I don't know. I didn't think about that. I just know that they have put me in a system of really great managers that were already starting to change the road of Juventus. And I believe that together with them, in cohesion, I can be an added value. my arrival is not an event, but it's part of the way. That's important. That's really important. Oh, Anthony, wait. Anthony, that's not what he said. Huh? Anthony, pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention before starting. That's not what he said. He didn't say Vlahovic and Chiesa non si tocca. No, we have to understand really well. He said about Lukaku, we are speaking with different clubs. We are asking a lot of information to a lot of clubs. We want to have a mix about youth talents and experienced player. The mercato has to be sustainable also financially. Then, when we are asking information and so on, papers are writing a lot. A lot. They are speculating a lot. At the moment, and attenzione, underlining, making bold, making a font bigger, at the moment, we are betting, as you can see, on Dusan Vlahovic, on Chiesa, on Milik, on Keane. So, speaking about the players that are at the moment in the team. Then tomorrow, if there is a huge offer for this player, that's not what he said, but I would not be surprised if one of these players can go out of the market. Attenzione, we will continue to follow the thing, but just pay attention because from at the moment we are betting on these players to these players, we don't touch them, we go fast. We continue. Question. Lukaku in the past said, mai alla Juve, never to Juve. Do you think and can you say today, Lukaku, never to Juve? We will have the answer of Giuntoli directly. I repeat, Giuntoli, we are convinced that we have a really strong and competitive team. We are convinced that we have a really strong offensive report. I don't want to speak about Mercato that just started. Me, together with Giovanni Manna, we are taking information about everything at the moment. We are analyzing everything. We have, again, I repeat, extremely a lot of players, and we have to make the team at the moment, the group, smaller because we have too many players. At this very moment, we have no idea how many competitions we will play. So we are working on exits, as you know. Stop. We are not thinking about something else. So what he said is what I'm repeating you since so many days that you can find on YouTube. All the difference, especially that video with too many, where I told you that we had at that moment 46 players. This is what Giuntoli is saying today. We are not working on the entry mercato at the moment because we have a strong competitive team that we really believe in at the moment. We are working on exits for a sustainable but competitive mercato. We continue. Mediaset. Question from Gianni Ballarin Mediaset. You said as well that you are betting a lot on Dusan Vlahovic. Does that exclude the fact that if a big, huge offer arrives for Dusan Vlahovic, you will refuse it? It is not a secret that we have to fix our accounts, our books financially. Attenzione. But we are betting a lot on Dusan. He has a lot of offers. And if there is an offer that you can't refuse, it is possible that we think about it. But technically, we are betting a lot on him. Attenzione. Here we go. Here we go with the no. He's not on the market. But of course, if there is an offer that you can't refuse for Dusan Vlahovic, we can think about it. We can think about it. So actually what I was anticipating you a bit earlier is now valid and said by Cristiano Giuntoli. Not that he's out of the team because they believe in him, they trust in him. He already just said technically we bet on him, technically the player, his qualities. But if there is an offer that you can't refuse, we think about it. Why? Because he started speaking about the fact that it is not a secret that we have to fix our books, our accounts. We continue. You spoke a lot about the attack in the first press conference. Now, I go a bit back. What about Pogba? Did you speak with him? Is it still central of the project? Is it someone with his talent that can make the team evolve? Pogba. Giuntoli. The situation, according to me, is quite clear. He's coming back from a difficult year, but he has a lot of will to come back to be him, and we are waiting for him. For us, a player like that is fundamental. He has quality, he has experience. A lot of years that he knows Juventus. A player that we are betting a lot to lead also all the young players that we have. So here is confirming that he is betting on Pogba. Again, I repeat, everything is open. He didn't say untouchable, but here he confirms difficult year for Pogba. He wants to become himself again. We are waiting for him, and we count on him because he's a player that can lead the team with all his experience, his skills, and so on and so on. La Stampa. I heard that Juventus needs to be competitive in the world. What is the minimal objective on the field that you fix yourself? Where does your Juventus start again? Giuntoli. We don't have to put ourselves minimal objectives. We have to do the maximum every day. I am here to do the max. I'm asking myself a lot, and I'm asking the other ones to do the max. We are all asking that Juventus can do the maximum. So no minimal objectives, but we want to do the max. He didn't say obliged to win the Scudetto, obliged it. No, doing the max. Like he's asking a lot to himself. That's what we are doing. Sky Sport, Tasotti. You are betting a lot on some players, on some offensive players. Vlahovic and Chiesa. They are really appetitable on the market. You said that you are betting a lot, but if an offer arrives, sustainability and competitivity, that's the discussion that you led. Can you explaining a bit better? Giuntoli is interrupting him and he's saying, we have to find the right balance. For us, they are not on the market. Incedibile. Incedibile, they will sell unsellable. For us, they are unsellable. But of course, if we have to find the balance, sustainability and competitivity, we have to think about it. On this moment, we are betting on them. Then, if crazy offers arrive, we sit down and we are thinking about it. Because we have to fix our books. But that's the reality. Ragazzi. Later we will discuss about the words, about Chiesa, Vlahovic, and about unsellable. But if the crazy offer arrives, we will sit down around the table. Question about Bonucci. Now that Bonucci is out of the team, are there maybe some entries for Bonucci? Giuntoli, no. We have a lot of players in the defense. We have Alexandro, Rugani, Bremer, Danilo, De Winter. Great player in defense. We think that we are okay like that in defense. And to be honest, looking at how things are going, I believe that other players needs to leave from the defense. Attenzione! Attenzione! Because here we are speaking about not only Bonucci out of the team, but from all the players that he said, maybe some players needs to leave. Who? I don't know. Repubblica. You spoke about the balance, sustainability, and competitivity. Is it more difficult to impose that strategy of competitivity and sustainability in a club like Juventus? where the expectations are normally, in average, higher than other teams. And thinking about that sustainability and competitivity, fixing the books and so on, will it be necessary to really do a big sacrifice? Giuntoli. Is it more difficult? Yes, probably yes, because Juventus is still Juventus. The expectations are higher. But as I said earlier, my arrival at Juventus should not be an event, but should be part of the rebuild. We will need a bit of time to find and to bring that journey to glory. But of course, the objective of the club is to go back to be with a full of glory, to be competitive. It will be difficult in the beginning to have all that glory, but in a mid project, it will bring us a lot of profit. We will have to rebuild a team that will bring us a lot of satisfaction and that we are able to keep for a few years. So in the beginning, it will be difficult for that virtuosi. The word that is using in virtuosi, ragazzi. Let me check the right word in English. Virtuosi. Virtuosi, the word is virtuous. Being virtuous in the beginning phase will be a bit difficult. Regarding the sacrifices, at the moment, we have to be calm and lucid. We have to, again, focus on smaller the amount of players in the team to give actually the mister all the possibilities to do well. After that, let's see. Mercato just started. We don't know if we will play Conference League or not, so let's wait a bit. Question. Marco Bo, Tutto Sport. Last year, Napoli, your Napoli, defeated or broke Juventus 5-1. So the question is, I don't know, it's just a remark. Welcome to Torino. Last year, your Napoli have beaten 5-1 Juventus. Now, what kind of game style players did Allegri ask to you, and what kind of game did you ask to Allegri? And then what can be the reaction of supporters to a hypothetical arrival of Lukaku? Giuntoli. But honestly, I'm speaking with the mister every single day. He didn't ask me any player. He believes that we have to continue with the project youth. That last year he did really well. He started really well. That 3-4 years ago, Federico Cherubini really started really well. Last year, Mister let 5-6 players from next gen play, which is not easy at all, which is difficult. He wants to continue that way with them. At the moment, he didn't ask me anything. The only thing that he told me about the team is that this team has a lot of potential to grow, to become better. That's what his first approach with me. I see some people that are saying the first lie of Giuntoli. But no, ragazzi, if we start like that, some things we believe, but it's always like that. I know how the human is I know. What we like is true. What we don't like, no, it's a lie. No, ragazzi, this is what he's saying. He's saying clearly, Mr. Max didn't ask me any player. When I'm saying didn't ask him any player, probably told him about the role that needs to be reinforced or so on. But did he spoke about a specific player? According to Giuntoli, no. Is it a lie? Maybe yes. Maybe no. We don't know. We don't know. The first lie of the interview, I don't know. Because if you go back First, he started speaking about all the bets on Dusan Vlahovic. The players are unsellable. But then, of course, after a few questions, he started saying, if there is a crazy offer, we sit down on the table. Let's continue. Let's see. I know, you make me laugh today. I didn't ask anything at the moment to Allegri. I need to check. We are speaking every single day. All the decisions that we are taking, all the decisions that at the moment we are taking are divided and shared between the company, myself, and the Mister, Giovanni, Federico, all the managers. We are always all together. We are speaking with each other every time. When there is a news that is coming out publicly and is official, it's because we, all of us, all together, we are convinced that it's the right thing to do. So, there was also a question that he didn't answer to, and then the journalist repeated, what about the reaction of the supporters about Lukaku? And he said, honestly, he was a bit like, what can I say? What will I say? He said, honestly, I didn't even think about that. There are so many informations that are going out. At the moment, I didn't think about it, about the supporters, what they are thinking, or what are the feelings of the supporters towards possible Lukaku, because at the moment there is nothing. So, attenzione. At the moment there is nothing, Lukaku. Paolino, Radio Banconera. Always smart. He's always asking smart questions. Let's see if he continues also for 23-24. In some days, Juventus will celebrate 100 years of the family Agnelli. So the question is, in some day, not tomorrow, of course, but in a few weeks, in a few months, there will be the 100 years of Juventus. I don't exactly when it is, not Juventus, of course, but from the family Agnelli. I believe even it's a few days. In a few days, there will be the celebration of 100 years of the family Agnelli. Something that has been done well, and really well, because 100 years of Agnelli were fantastic. How can it be done better? That's the question to Giuntoli. And how do you think that you can form a team that can, in a short time, give what you are asking to that team? Giuntoli, of course, asking to work a lot every single day. If I would be a card reader, a medium, I would know. But today, the only thing that I can say is that the people that I met at Juventus office are really skillful, are really, really great. They know what they are doing. And we have to continue to do that work. Betting on the youth, having a bit of patience, because I understand that the Juventus world, they want everything and immediately. But in that particular moment, we have to restart and we need a bit of patience. Attention, because this is important for the people. The words of Giuntoli, not of Beppe, but the words of Giuntoli. I understand that the Juventus world, the Juventini, they want everything and immediately, but they have to understand that we are restarting. We are restarting, and to restart, we need a bit of time. Oh, ragazzi, what I'm telling you every single day, every single week, and that people are defending me, Beppe, but no, you are licking the ass of the Giuntoli. We continue. Then, from the moment that we have that virtuous mechanism, from the moment that we are arriving there, then everything starts to be easier. At the moment, we have to be calm, smaller team, helping the team to do better, helping the mister to do better, that all of them can do the max, and I believe that we can achieve great results. The question, you said multiple times that you believe that the team is quite solid, quite strong, quite competitive. Do you believe that you can win immediately? Let's see. Of course, I don't put myself limits. We have to pay attention when we are speaking about objectives. We don't have to put ourselves limits. We have to do the max. But as said before, I wake up every single morning trying to do the max I can to help the others to do the max of their capabilities. And by consequence, we all have to do our max for Juventus. If we are putting ourselves limits, it's not correct. Don't put ourselves limits. So, you see, don't put ourselves limits. Bianconero. Can you do a point about the players that will go on loan? And can you speak a bit about Huijsen and Kenan Yildiz? In this moment, we are evaluating. It's a bit early. We have 1.5 months of Mercato. We have to understand what are the requests of the kids. We have to ask. We are also evaluating the players, you know, because they are young, they are next gen and so on. Not only Kenan and Yildiz, not only Yildiz and Huijsen, but in general, the youth. We are evaluating them because some of them could potentially enter in the side of the first team. But it's a bit too early at the moment to speak and to give me a point for these players. It's a bit too early at the moment. Tutto Mercato Web. Question. In the past, you always followed, like I told you during a live, the games from the bench as well. You know, as a sporting director, he was there on the bench next to the coach. Can you explain us if you will do like this also here at Juventus? And what are the motives? Why are you sitting there on the bench? Giuntoli. The motives are quite simple. I really like to be next to the coach, next to the team, next to the players, to understand, to feel the game from inside, because you are seeing things, some details that you don't see from far away. I don't think that I'm disturbing people. I'm just there just to observe, nothing more. Oh, he didn't answer about will he go or not on the bench. He didn't answer. He said why he liked it, but he didn't say if yes or no he will be on the bench.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
Nicola Balice. Welcome to Torino. First you mentioned, you know, crazy offers if you want to sit down for Vlahovic and Chiesa. Can you give us a more clear idea about what we are speaking about? Crazy offers, 70, 80 million euro. Giuntoli, I don't speak about numbers. I'm sorry. Depends. Depends when they will arrive, if they will arrive. But I don't speak about numbers. Last question from Giovanni Capuano. And then we close. The question about Allegri that we were all waiting for. Giovanni Capuano is saying a lot of people were linking your arrival to Juventus with the possible departure of Max Allegri. Can you explain to the supporters of Juventus? Oh, fantastic question. Can you explain to the supporter of Juventus why Allegri is the right man? Attenzione, attenzione. The last question is the best question. Let's go. Giuntoli, let's start saying that last year was an extraordinary difficult year. A person from his level, from his experience, he was the ideal person to be there, to be the leader in that kind of situation. Don't forget that Juventus finished still third in the ranking. Juventus did an important year. They launched and they started some youth players. They did an important percorso, an important year. We don't have to forget that Massimiliano Allegri is still a person that is able to continue that way, that project, with a lot of qualities. We believe that if we want to achieve huge and big results, we need talent, mentality, and discipline. Talent, mentality, and discipline. And we are sure that he is the most talentuous of all of them. We are over secure about that. We are sure about that. We are over convinced about that. Ultra convinced about that. Oh. Important words, huh? Important word. Okay, guys, before I start with my opinion, I want, of course, obviously, your opinion about the words of Cristiano Giuntoli. As always, last year, it was something that was working a lot. Is there something in the press conference that I tried as best as I could to translate? I had also to get used to a new voice, a new tempo of words, how he's using them, a new, how can I say, with Allegri, I know when he will stop, I know when he will start again, and I was able to do it without pressing the pause button. Here it's a new person, so a few times I had to press pause to really try to understand. But of course, I'm not even sure that we will get used to him, because I don't believe that he will speak every single week. But anyway, it was a beautiful one. So let me know, what is the part, the sentence, the thing that you liked the most, disliked the most, because it's not only the positive but also the negative. What impressed you? Okay, if there is something that is asking you, BT, Trimboli, Serraz, Vittorio Berlò, tell me one thing from that press conference. I have no time. Tell me only one thing. What is the thing that you will say that Cristiano Giuntoli said today? Okay. So we start. Ciao Sam Zomut. Giuntoli, very diplomatic. He knows he is new. Let him work and give the best circumstances for him work. Support him from management and board is a must. Daniel. BT, it's all about we. No inside chaos anymore. I loved it for BT. He's the right man for the job for Trimboli. Chiesa stay. I don't know when he said that. I don't know when he said that, because that's not what he said. The moment he talked about the moment we are convinced about our strikers. Yes. But if you report that he said we are convinced about our strikers, which is great, which is fantastic, you will probably miss the second part of it, where he says if there are crazy offers for Chiesa, for Dusan Vlahovic, we will sit on the table. We'll sit around the table and we will think about it, because don't forget, sustainable but competitive, a mix of youth and experience. He didn't say Lukaku will not join. He didn't say that. Cecilia is late again. We just finished the press conference. We are debriefing Cecilia. But buongiorno. Frosinone, talent, passion, and hard work. Great words. Yes, if these words become facts, Giuntoli reminds me of Marotta. He's speaking but not saying nothing. Smart and professional. Impressed. Okay, maybe there is something that you have to know about these kind of managerial role. People that are speaking in front of microphones. People like that are trained. People like that receive courses, lessons to know how to politically answer a question, but more important than that, politically not answer a question. Actually making people believe that they answered, or at least not believing because you know that he didn't answer. But the people like that in that role are trained, which is great because otherwise you go totally crazy. And if today some people are thinking, Chiesa will stay, why he didn't say that, and he was really clear on not saying that, imagine if they are not trained. Vittorio is saying, I think that Giuntoli shows that he has big Juventinità and takes the job with a lot of seriousness. Oh, I hope so. After 6 years of Carpi, 8 years of Napoli, going to the team, the best team in Italy, historically one of the top 10 teams in the world, and moreover, the team of his heart, of course he's taking it really seriously. Thomas, nothing he said in particular surprised me, but from the context and way of answering, I see and like his ambitious attitude and energy. Okay, let me give you my impression that are, of course, the same as all of you. I want to start with a few keywords that he used a lot of times. We have to make the team smaller. We have to make the team smaller. It's not a surprise. If you go back to a video I made a few days ago, you can see this one. It's titled Too Many, Way Too Many at Juventus. And then Sule changed his haircut, but in that specific case, that's absolutely not the topic of the video. Too many, too many. This is something that he said clearly a lot of time. We are with too many people. We have too many players and we have to reduce the team to give the trainer the possibility to work in the best possible condition. To remember also, Sarri was asking to work with a limited number of people and not working with extra large teams, because working with extra large teams makes it difficult. He said the same at Chelsea, he said the same at Napoli. Giuntoli knows about that, and it's true. When you're working with 44 people, you're creating so much chaos in terms of people that will be disappointed because they will not travel to USA, people that will not be called up for the game because you can't just call up 44 per people. The benches, you don't have enough seats. So you will create like people that will be really disappointed at a certain moment. Players that were promoted from next gen last year, like for example Barrenechea, that are not part anymore from that first team, and so on and so on. So that's an important thing that he said clearly. And that's also why, at the moment, we can't just start with entry mercato, what I also told you. First objective, and that's what he said clearly. Now we are analyzing who can stay, who wants to stay, who we want to stay. All the other players trying to find possibilities for them to leave the club so that we can work with a strong team. A strong team that needs to be competitive but also sustainable. When he's repeating a few times sustainable, he's telling you two things basically. The first one is sustainable means we will not do crazy signings. We will not go with a player from 80 million euro as we did in the past. We'll not sign Higuain, Cristiano Ronaldo, but probably also not Vlahovic. And in this optic, forget about Højlund. Sustainable mercato, he said a mix from youth and experienced player. What does that mean? When he's really insisting a few times about, yes, youth, talented players, but also experienced player, that don't start to be totally surprised about, but where is Juventini, rejuvenation and so on, words used by ex-management about today. If you see a player from 30 that is arriving, it could be, Lukaku, it could be Morata, I don't know. At the moment, we have to say that 3 players left, 3 players joined. Di Maria, how much? 36 years. 35 years for Cuadrado, 29 years for Paredes. Who joined? Wea. 20, how much? 22? Cambiaso, Rovella. They're there. They're there. Let me check just to be sure for the age, because then I know, Beppe said 22 and it was 21 or it was 23. What is he saying? Beppe. I want to be just clear. Wea 23. I knew I could have made a mistake. 23 for Wea, 23 for Cambiaso, 21 for Rovella. At the moment, we are making the team younger. Of course, Di Maria has not been subbed yet at the moment. Will we sub Di Maria or will we find another way? We don't know. Wea for Cambiaso, Rovella for Paredes. 8-year difference between Rovella and Paredes. 7 and 5. 12 years less for Cambiaso and Cuadrado. That's a lot. That's extremely a lot. Now, he continued saying about sustainability, competitivity, that he understands that Juventini, because we are Juventini, we want everything now, immediately. But at the moment, we are restarting. And it takes time. We want to have the glory. We don't want to put ourselves limits, but it will not be easy. But what we want to do is working on a project that in the beginning, even if initially looks difficult, that can bring us some satisfaction, some glory in the future, also keeping the players that we have instead of going and selling them. That's what he said. I think he had been really honest. Speaking about players, spoke about Zakaria, dealing with a few clubs. Honestly answered the question of Bonucci. If we didn't really had the certainty, it is official. Bonucci is on the market. They are speaking with different teams. At the moment, Bonucci is not satisfied with the teams that offered him a possibility. I don't know which team they are. Maybe Lazio, maybe Sampdoria, maybe Saudi Arabia. At the moment, no. So they will continue to look for a team for Leonardo Bonucci. Arthur, they are speaking with different teams. And then he said about McKennie, we didn't put him out of the team. So McKennie, in a way, can be put back in the team at the moment. Probably it's a player that was on the market, that at the moment is not finding the right teams. I have no idea why. Is it a player that Allegri is still trusting? I don't know. Is it a player that will go to USA with Juventus? Could be. While until this morning, for me, McKennie was totally out of project because of what papers were telling me. I don't know if he will still be part of 23-24, but the chances to see 2 Americans in USA instead of 1 are increasing from now on. What else did he say? Stavros is saying by sustainable means being constructive now, but also being able to gain the important tools for the future of the club, staying on top. But he said sustainable and competitive. Sustainable is easy, yeah? Sustainable means you don't do crazy things. When you are doing things, you have to bring profit. Then it's not on a single deal that you are sustainable. It's on the mercato, in total mercato, but also about the things that you are doing off the field. So Juventus needs to think in a sustainable way. No crazy expectations, no crazy expenses. If you have to travel 5 times to London, can you do it in 4 times and 1 call, for example? The small details. If you can do something on Twitch, instead of asking to all a video team to be there and present, can you do it? Because it's easy with StreamYard. You just launch a project and you go, you know. But it's also on the mercato. Instead of going for players from like Højlund, 60 million euro, or Vlahovic earlier, you can go with other ones that are bringing you a lot of possibilities also in terms of being profitable. But that also means you have to sell some players, like maybe a Federico Chiesa, if a crazy offers arrive, Vlahovic, if a crazy offers arrive, which also means Juventus doesn't want to let them go for a normal offer. So if people are coming asking for the player Vlahovic at 60 million euro, Giuntoli said clearly, We believe in the technicality of the player. In terms of what he can bring on the field, we believe in him. We want to bet on him. Same for Federico Chiesa. So for 60 million euro, forget about Vlahovic going away. Forget for 30 million euro for Federico Chiesa to leave Juventus. Even if they want to leave, they stay. Because we don't believe that it's sustainable for the club to lose them for minus Valenza or not bringing cash money. You see? So important words. If I would sum up the press conference with from Giuntoli today, I would resume it in a realistic press conference that is explaining you that, okay, realistic press conference. We know which players are out of project, clearly, has been stated. We know that players like Vlahovic, Chiesa, for example, just to tell these two, are part of the project only if they want. And also, if no crazy offer arrive, they stay. Juventus that will clearly repeat to the Juventini, calma, we are restarting, but it's not because we are restarting, it's not because we are asking you to be tranquilli that we can't win. Because we want to be sustainable and competitive. We want to bring Juventus back to glory. If it's not immediately because we can't, it is what it is. But we expect, we demand from every single person at Juventus, not only player, every single person at Juventus to give their best, to give the max of their possibilities, which is super important. We don't put ourselves limits. We don't want to put ourselves limits because that would be stupid. And that's what I told you. Do you remember? Like Sir Raz and so on, they know it perfectly. I always told you, at the end of the Mercato, you will be disappointed, you will be frustrated, you will be angry, you will be sad. If we will ask you to put a rating on the Mercato at the end of the season, you will probably put a 5, 5.5, 6. That's what I told you. These are not great ratings, 5, 5.5, 6. Probably some people, depending how you are rating, you are probably even put lower. But that doesn't mean at the end of the Mercato that you gave a 4 on the team that you can't compete. It's not because you gave a 10 on the Mercato that you will win. So Mercato at the end is a tool, is a medium to go and try to be competitive. Then don't put ourselves limits. Let's try to give our best. Max, no, let's not try. Let's give our best immediately. This is what Giuntoli is asking, to do it all together. Spoke about unity, like BT was saying earlier. We don't take, it's not Giuntoli era. It is not an event that I am here, that I will change everything now alone. We are working together with Giovanni Manna, with Allegri, with Scanavino, with all the people involved, with Federico Cherubini that he mentioned a lot of time, to work together in we and not me alone. I am not Giuntoli, I am Juventus. No, I am part of Juventus, like all the other people. What about Allegri? Why? And that was maybe the best question at the end. I always told you, great questions, also from Capuano, that said, why Allegri? Because a lot of people were thinking that he would have been dismissed when you arrived. And he said, look, Allegri, don't forget, on the field, third last year, did a big job and was the right person to lead Juventus towards and through the difficulties to arrive at the end of the season, which I always told you, regardless of whatever, I believe that Max Allegri did a fantastic job in a really tough situation where a lot of other people would probably have give up or not be able to do it. And then he's saying, which is totally correct, I believe, that Max Allegri, to win, you need talent, you need mentality, you need discipline, and he is the best person, and we are overconfident that he is the best person to lead Juventus. Do I believe that today, that he's the best person? If I go with my latest experience of what Allegri showed us, it's impossible to believe that. It is impossible to believe. If I go towards the 5 first year of Allegri, I tell you yes. If I go to the last 2 ones, I tell you no. I don't believe that Allegri is finished that Allegri is not capable anymore, and so on and so on. I believe that Allegri made a lot of mistakes, and that himself first, as a person, needs to look into the mirror and say, okay, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? Do I want to do better? How can I do it? And try immediately to do it. Only like that you can do it. Like Giuntoli was saying, giving your best, the max every single day. Every single day you wake up and you give your best. You give the max of your possibilities. Otherwise you can't do it. Now, right choice, wrong choice, we will see. But if we are speaking about unity, if we are speaking about if we are speaking about Giuntoli, if we are speaking about this, he can't say something else about Max Allegri. This is impossible. But he could have said it in a different way. He answered really short the first time to the question, then he stopped and he even built on his first answer, reinforcing his words from the beginning, continuing to say we are 100% sure that he's the guy that can lead us to that. Let's see, tomorrow he can be dismissed, he can give up. The first day after a defeat, disaster, he can leave, he can be dismissed, we don't know. But at the moment, this is the official communication of Juventus. And again, calma is an important word. Ziad, I made a silly comment when you started the live. I didn't mean to insult you, but I apologize. I didn't even read it. Ziad, I have no idea what you're speaking about. About the fact that no, it was not a silly comment. It was a fun comment. I was thinking as well, and that he would speak slower, but no, he's speaking super fast. No, Ziad, no. But you know, no. Emiliano Berardi, what is he saying, Emiliano? Nice to have a day off work to be part of this beautiful life. Thanks, Beppe and Juventini. No, thank you, Emiliano. Helicopter, ciao, Beppe, ciao, everyone, twice. In other club, Allegri would have been sacked already. Just look at Tuchel and Nagelsmann. Well, Tuchel, it's not that at Chelsea, it's not that they took the right decision, huh? And Nagelsmann at Bayern, they were about to lose everything. Now, in the future, will Tuchel do well at Bayern? Maybe yes. They are really solid teams, really strong. Then you have situations like Monza, where they sacked the coach, they promoted the youth coach, and we saw how it finished, because he beat immediately Juve, not only once, but also twice in Serie A, and has been now reconfirmed. No, look, I am an older guy, and I believe, or maybe I have to say I believed, because only stupid people I think that only stupid people don't change opinion. For me personally, that's how I managed. That's how I believe you have to do. That's always how I worked. I start choosing a person. I start working with that person, giving her or him all the possible tools, supporting him or her, and trying to bring that project to an end. Can be a project of 3 months, can be a project of 6 months, can be a project of 1 year, whatever. And at the end of that project, let's try to evaluate. That doesn't mean that in the meanwhile, in the course of that project, you can't already start speaking. You can't already start appointing things that needs to be better. Confrontation, speaking, trying to do better during that process. But at the end, you take conclusion. How was it working together? Did it work? Did it not work? Can we do better? Can we continue to work? And if it's not working, you stop at the end of the project. And Juventus has always worked like that. But it's true that we are in 2023. And in 2023, with the world changing, with the faster demands, faster expectations, faster everything, sometimes you could possibly intervene faster. Now, could have been done during the summer, but if you are looking at sustainability and competitivity, sacking a coach to let him stay at home for 2 years, paying him 40 million euro gross for all the staff, the 2 years of Al-Halil and so on, would have been in total contradiction with sustainability. Total contradiction. Then you can't come here in front of cameras and saying we want to be competitive and sustainable. Makes no sense. But on the other hand, it can be that halfway the process, December, January, things are not going as expected. things are not increasing, are not getting better, and you're changing the plans. So maybe I'm also changing in thinking that a halfway strong decision could potentially be taken. Not at the first wind. Let's try to put it like if you are on a ship, on a boat. It's not because you have the first wind and the ship is starting to move that you are changing the captain. But it's true that if you hit the iceberg at a certain moment, maybe it's a necessity to change the captain at a certain moment. So that's a bit the difference of how I think it. But it's true, it's correct. I believe if I'm a manager and the decision has been taken to continue with the coach, that you give him, like Samir is saying, appreciation, support, great leadership, great charisma in his way of talking. Every single answer that he gave at the end, he had a smile. That the answer was difficult, that the question was difficult, or easy, or funny, or serious. At the end, he finished, you know, like when you're writing, you finish with a dot. Well, the dot of Giuntoli was with a smile. Like, for example, I say, okay, I will read that one. He showed support and appreciation to Allegri. Finally, we have a proper leader with charisma. That's what you can't read, of course. But every single question, difficult or not, I appreciated it. I don't know you. Can you rate the giorno uno, the real first press conference of Cristiano Giuntoli? According to what you said, what you heard, Pablo Carlos Miguel Lopez Villela, will it be a first win? But at Juventus, whatever, even if you were in a kind of tornado, you were not changing until the end. Now maybe things are changing. Thank you for your donation, Franco Chan. They saying ciao, Zio Beppe, Vivi Chan. That Franco is with his daughter, and they are watching together. Fantastic, beautiful daughter. So un bacio a Vivi, a kiss to Vivi. Enjoy your daughter and enjoy the life, Franco. Thank you for the donation, my friend. David is saying everybody forgot that we became third in the league with nearly the exact same squad. We just need a bit of tweaking and we will do really good. I don't know why everyone wants big changes. Because Juventus was never in the run, and now I will defend the anti-Allegri or the pro-revolution instead of evolution. Words that today were said by Giuntoli. Will it be a revolution or evolution? He said, I didn't think about it. But because we were never in the run to compete, and now for the second consecutive year. If the first year of Allegri back with the disgusting game of Inter, not us, because we played one of the best, maybe the only great game of the Allegri comeback first year. Well, we know that the referee didn't help in that game. We lost it, and we lost our hopes for the Scudetto in that year. And honestly, we never really competed to win that Scudetto, and the same for last year. Off the field, on the field, or whatever, we never did. Shame, a real public shame in Champions League elimination before all the off-the-field problems. Of course, we had already our on-the-field problems with Pogba, Di Maria, Chiesa, Paredes, and so on and so on and so on. But it was also the second year that we didn't have a beautiful start, far from. So all these things are remaining in the head of supporters. Not only that we finished third, because third is not enough for Juventus, or at least, you can finish third, but how do you finish third? And that's also another thing that is correct from the people. The how is missing. The how is not great. And reading a name like Lukaku while other people are going for Sergei Milinkovic-Savic or for this or for this. We don't see at the moment the big changes. Paris is going to Fiorentina. Milinkovic-Savic is going to Al-Halil, I believe. We are maybe missing on this, maybe missing on that. The names that are reporting us are midfielders or strikers because we are scared to lose Vlahovic or Federico Chiesa, but we don't bring the priorities that at the moment we need. And they are left back, right back if we want to play with 4 men in defense. Then, of course, when the news is coming from Juventus is trying to negotiate for Holm, that is one that can play potentially in that 4 men. That's the only exception, and it's not enough. So I understand that it was not great the last 2 years, that it hurts. And because you are Juventus and a lot of people, we are in social media world. So today, everything that you are checking, seeing, starts to have a snowball effect. It's going bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because it goes viral and viral and viral. You have a lot of really Juventini that are taking care of Juventus. They love Juventus, but you have also a lot of trolls, and these trolls are spreading negativity every single day on a difficult moment of Juventus. Objectively, it is a difficult moment. If you're a bit weaker because you are frustrated to see your team, well, it's easy to read all these days the things. It's much more difficult today to be someone that is balanced, trying to see the easy things, the beautiful things, and the difficult things. Trying to explain why we are in a difficult situation, it's difficult. It is difficult. It is really difficult. It should be so much easier for me to say, no, Giuntoli, you arrive and you lose this. You want to take us Kessier. Why? What are you doing? We don't love you. We want Kvaratskhelia. Where is Kvaratskhelia? But what people forget is that the same Giuntoli last year, when he brought Kim Min-jae, Kvaratskhelia to Napoli, he was heavily criticized. Napoli fans wanted his head because they said, who are these guys? You are selling or giving away for free Mertens, Insigne, you sold Fabian Ruiz to Paris Saint-Germain, Koulibaly to Chelsea. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Koulibaly, the captain, are you crazy? And it's after that you can see the results, not before. That's why for me, mercato, it's blah, blah. Anyway, Ala Hamam, thank you for the donation, my friend. From the press conference, we can tell one of Vlahovic or Chiesa will be out. Am I right to have this feeling? Immediately after the first words of Giuntoli saying, we are betting on them, I said pay attention because there will be a next answer that will possibly open it, because that doesn't mean they will stay. He never said they are unsellable. He said the word unsellable in a way, but immediately after he said, and if not, a crazy offer arrive. And always pairing that sentence with competitive but sustainable project. So but only if a big offer arrives. I'm repeating and telling you since a few days. July, selling. Loaning, selling, loaning, selling players. From 44, we need to go to 25. He also said really clearly, we are not aware yet if we will play Conference League or not. What does that mean? If we play Conference League, we can allow ourselves to have a bigger team than if we are playing only Serie A. In Serie A, you have 11 men on the field plus 5 that can possibly enter. It was 3 in the past. Luckily, we went to 5 now. It's a different way of football, different way of playing, but at least we have some rotational players that can enter and change the game. A bit more players can be involved during the game. But at the end, it's still 16 players per game that can play once a week. If you are playing Conference League, in a week, more than 16 players can play. If you have 44 players for 16 that can play once a week, it's a total disaster. In terms of management, it's a total disaster. You need, of course, more than 16, but you can't have 44. And that's what I told you. We'll try to focus all our energies in selling, loaning, to reduce the team. And from that moment on, when we understood that instead of 13 million, we are really receiving 20 million for Zakaria, instead of a loan where we are paying 75% of the loan of Arthur, we are paying only 50%, and they are paying us 2 million euro. And maybe that for another player, we are saving all his salary. Maybe for Zakaria, we are earning money. Maybe McKennie, that is at the moment not out of the project, but if he can find a team, you reduce, and then you check the bank account. How much money did we earn? How much not? Is it at that moment on still necessary to let the player go? Is it Chiesa? Is it Vlahovic? Is it Bremer? Is it Ealing Jr.? Is it, I don't know, Locatelli? Is it Paul Pogba? We don't know. This is, according to me, where we need to be really scared. Then, of course, if you sell tomorrow Dusan Vlahovic to Paris Saint-Germain, you accelerate your entry mercato. Because that's a big move that probably you will never ever have. 90 million euro for a player, nobody else is offering it. If it's really 90, with bonuses and so on. But I believe that he was really clear. Tranquilli, calma. We have to be competitive again. We have to go back to our glory days. We have to be again, not only in Italy, but competitive in the world. Tranquilli, step by step. Then the big question, of course, will be, will you be able to do it? Just Giuntoli. Yes, today was just Giuntoli. Sir, as I have a feeling that if big offer arrive, they might leave both. Both? I don't know. I don't know, but today they are not sure to stay. Paul Pogba, waiting for him, also there. When I was watching, it was a bit hesitant. I don't believe that Pogba is 100% sure to stay at Juve. Idza wants Lukaku with all due respect. Of course, that's your opinion. Nobody can tell you that you are not right or that you are wrong. They can say that they believe that they are not convinced about it. But if that's your opinion, I respect it, of course. Depends what you understand under glory days. If you are speaking about Italian soul, I said it earlier. I believe that with the team that we have today, we can even compete for Serie A. I have no doubts about it. I will change my narrative if in the last years I always told you, this year we win the Serie A, I can bet everything on it, and then we didn't win. Now I tell you that we can be competitive to win the Serie A, which is different, because there are still some things that needs to be adapted, but I really believe that we can do much better than last year. With the management, finally, if you are thinking about European glory, I don't even know if it will be possible. Yesterday, Cristiano Ronaldo said it, that today there is only one league in Europe. It's Premier League. The others are miles away. I don't believe in these fairy tales of Inter, Milan, Napoli arriving in semi-final and then Calcio is back. I don't believe in these kind of things. Sorry to say, ragazzi, with all the respect, no, it was like this. Okay. 1 hour 18. I believe we did our job. I'm trying to check if we can find from Juventus maybe the words of Giuntoli in English. Just to go through again really fast. We can, because they translated it in written form. Giuntoli, Cristiano, football chief has been said. So Giuntoli, good day everyone. Thank you for being here. First of all, I wanted to thank De Laurentiis and Chiavelli, who gave me a great chance 8 years ago to the whole of Napoli, blah, 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 blah. I found at Juventus an environment that welcomed me in an incredible way with a very high level of professionalism. I am very happy. What matters Now is what we do from here on out. The club has asked me to go back to being competitive and sustainable, because in the world that is moving in this direction, we have to take a look at the accounts, but also at the history of Juve to be competitive everywhere. My story is clear. I try to do a lot with what I have at available. I will try to bring all my experience into this great club. I just arrived, but the club has already moved in an extraordinary way in the market, confirming Rabiot, one of the strongest midfielders in the world, signing Luea, and confirming Milik in June. Weston McKennie out of project? That has never been said. Right now, there are guys who are on the market and are working on their own. We are negotiating with some clubs over Zakaria and Arthur, as well as Bonucci, but we are yet to find agreements. There will be no Giuntoli moves, only Juventus moves. We have to create a sustainable and competitive market, mixing experience with youth. At the moment, we are banking on Vlahovic, Chiesa, Keane and Milik. I work with great managers who were already changing the course of Juventus, and I hope to be an added value. My arrival is not an event, but part of the journey. We are convinced that we have a very competitive squad and a very competitive striker base. The market has just begun. Giovanni Manna and I are starting out. We are working on the releases. We are not thinking about anything else. Again, we are working on the exit market. Vlahovic, I have already talked about sustainability. In the event of huge offers, we will evaluate, but we are banking a lot on him. What about Pogba? He's returning from a difficult year, but he has a great desire, and we are waiting for him. We rely on him to motivate the boys. Our objectives: we have no minimum goals. We have to do our best every day. I give everything, and we all have to do that so that Juve can get back to their best. Additions in defense, we have many players. We think we are fine like this, but depending on how things go, maybe someone could leave. The balance between competitiveness and sustainability, we have to find it. We know it won't be easy, but the goal is to get back to being competitive and virtuous. Becoming virtuous may initially be an obstacle, but then it will be a great advantage. I speak to the coach every day. He is happy with the team. He believes we must continue the project with the young players, which is already well underway. He is convinced that this team has great room for improvement. He didn't ask me for players. There are no secret recipes. It just takes daily work. I found very capable, high-level people who have done a great job over the last period, and we will have to continue on this path, focusing on young players and having patience. It's nearly over, ragazzi. We must not set limits. As I said before, we just have to do our best. For Juventus, the youngsters in the team, we are evaluating the path for everyone. We have to understand the needs of the youth and ours too. Last year was an extraordinary difficult year for Juve, and I think a person of Allegri's level was ideal. We believe that Massimiliano is still the person capable of carrying on the path undertaken with great quality. To achieve great results, you need talent, a certain mentality and discipline, and we are sure that he is the most talented of all. Now I'm done reading. Juan Echeverry, Glory Days is a restaurant on USA. And well, hopefully this week, at the end of the week, when we travel to USA, we will be able to eat and have dinner or lunch in Glory Days. Maybe we can find the Glory Days a bit faster. I hope you enjoyed it, ragazzi. This is the end of the press conference. I would love, if you didn't yet, of course, to send you back to the video I made this morning. It was this one, of course, further away about Lukaku, where I repeat, has not been reported, by the way, by Juventus on Twitter. But Lukaku is not a no by Giuntoli, but at the moment saying we are taking a lot of information in different clubs and papers are writing. At the moment there is nothing, because we are believing in our strikers, but he never said no to Lukaku. He never said yes to Lukaku. So let's see what Mercato will bring us. I'm really curious. But first, sales and then entries. Watch it. Yeah, otherwise we are doing videos for nothing. And that would pain my heart. There is nothing worse, I believe, than doing a video that nobody cares about. Disaster. Disaster. And at the moment, I can tell you that the video didn't receive a beautiful start. It didn't receive a beautiful start. By the way, I'm speaking about Gazzetta dello Sport in that beginning of the video. You should really see it. Grazie ragazzi. Ciao Borna. Ciao Nirai. Ciao Juan Echeverry. Ciao to... it's always the same that are writing at the end of the channel. Ciao to Ahmad. Ciao to Saraz. David Mirabella. Ciao Daniel. Ciao Dan Avola. Ciao David. Ciao a tutti. Ciao Calcio Ben. Ciao. Grazie, forza. Juve.